Guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm back at Into Moto, and due to popular demand I'm doing something a bit similar today. So I've gone into the shop, I've had a look round, and I've asked to take out the cheapest bike that they've got in there. So let's see what it is today. So here it is. Well, why did I go all high pitch then? Don't know. Anyway, this is the MGB R8. It's a 50cc bike, and Into Moto are selling it for £1,499. So this bike has been used, but barely. So in comparison to a new bike, it's a saving of around £400 there or thereabouts, but still a very cheap machine. Let's have a look round it the usual way, then of course I'll go for a ride on it and we'll see how it copes with the mean street to Warrington. Let's crack on. So let's go for the close-up first. Now you can already see it's a bright and sunny day today. Gorgeous day to be out on two wheels. Currently on its centre stand, which is making it pop a wheelie. Let's have a look at it from all angles. It is sporting its L plates, so anybody unfamiliar with motorcycle law in the UK, this motorcycle, being a 50cc bike, can be ridden by anybody from the age of 16 years old in the UK, as long as they've got a driving licence and have completed the CBT. For anybody outside the UK, the CBT that we do in the UK is basically a compulsory bike training that everybody has to go on, just to make sure that they're competent and able to ride a bike. Interestingly enough, I'm going to be doing a video aimed at the CBT. I'm actually going to follow someone's journey of them completing it, but due to waiting lists, that'll probably be out in a couple of months. Let's see how easy it is to take off the centre stand. And I'm not going to get on it, I'm not going to cheat. So like that. Oh, so it doesn't have to pop a wheelie when it's on the centre stand. It just can. I like that. Let me take it off the stand. Unbelievably easy. And there's a reason for that. This bike weighs 101 kilograms. So it means moving it around could not be easier. So you don't have to be the muscles from Brussels to be able to move this bike around. And to put it on the side stand, because it's so light at 101 kilograms, just simply standing on the centre stand engages it. And I didn't have to put all my weight on that, so yeah, very easy to do. You can take it off the centre stand by throwing your leg over like this. However, it does feel quite high doing it this way, and because it's so light, you don't need to. You literally just do what I did on the first example. Seat height on this is 850 millimeters, and it does have the same issue that, well, it's not really an issue, it helps with comfort, but it's the same issue if you've got short legs, and that is the seats are quite wide. So 815 millimeters actually feels a lot taller than it actually is. The seat is not at all one height. It does raise slightly for a rear passenger should you want to take someone on the back. Now what that means is there's only so much movement you've got yourself. So you can, at my height, be sat at the front of the seat, or I can move back maybe an inch or two. So yeah, if you're taller, you'll have to factor that in. And yeah, it feels like my feet are quite high up as well. So we'll see how that feels when I've got both feet up when I'm riding. But the seat feels comfortable, and I'm not too close to the bars, I'm not too far away. I've got a nice bend in the arm. But it is quite basic. I'll show you what I mean. Cheap and cheerful sums this bike up, to be fair. It is very basic. When it comes to the screen, you've just got an old type dial, nothing digital there. We've got miles per hour going around the outside, and you've got kilometers on the inside. It does have a fuel gauge, which is good, and the total miles on this, which is showing just over 1,000 miles. So it's been run in and had its first service, so that's a positive. Buttons on the left side, again, very basic. You've just got your horn, you've got your indicators, and you've got your high and low beam. Right hand side, engine start, engine cut off. That's it. I also like how the mirrors are styled as well, something a little bit different. They could have just stuck a straight bar on there, but they've put some sort of style and thought into it. Two separate heights, so you do notice the lower part of your back, or the top of your backside, just touching on where that is, where the rear seat starts. So yeah, if you were really tall, I guess you could scoot back and sit on that and then stretch your legs out a bit, but I'm guessing you'd have to be really tall to be able to pull that off. At 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam, I'm more than fine with that. There isn't any pull-out foot pegs for a rear passenger, but what they do have is just built in. So you've just got like an extension of that for rear passenger. So I like that, their own little step. You can see with this bike, even though it has been used, it is still, well, it's spotless. It's gleaming all the way around, including the 5-spoke alloy wheels at the back and the front. At the front, you've got a single disc with a single piston caliper, and then you've got a drum brake on the rear. Seems to be quite popular, in particular with the cheaper scooters. This bike does have an electric start, as you've seen with the buttons, but it also has a backup plan. It does have a Kickstarter as well, should there be an issue with the battery. Always good to have a backup plan. It does have the traditional step through as well, so I've shown on previous videos, it does make it really easy getting on and off these bikes. You don't have to throw your leg over a high seat. You can just slip your foot through and yeah, just glide on that way. Much easier if you've got issues with your flexibility. And because you've got that nice big step through, that also comes with the bag hook, which means you can put a small shopping bag in between your legs when you're riding, so nice for a little nip to the shops. One thing it hasn't got, which a lot of other scooters do, but they're obviously more expensive, it doesn't have any little storage compartments at the front. Easy enough. So under the seat, looking at the size on that, I can already tell a full face helmet isn't going to fit into that. But if you weren't bothered about putting your helmet in there, decent place to put a shopping bag. And there's your access to your fuel. So this little bike has only got a 50cc engine. I've said that before. It is a single cylinder, air cooled, and it says it'll do 31 miles an hour. Now, that is about the limit for a 50cc. Now, I know years ago there was 2-stroke 50s that would go much quicker than that, but rules and regulations mean now we are restricted. But if you think what these bikes are actually for, getting a 16-year-old onto the roads, do you really want your child going faster than 31 miles an hour? That's what you've got to think about. For me, personally, my lad is around that age and I wouldn't want him going any faster on the roads. Got to look after them. There is a nice light setup at the front here. It does have daytime running lights and they are LEDs, I believe, or a mix of LEDs and halogen bulbs. The only thing left for me to do now is to take this bike for a ride. Now, the only thing I'm not concerned about, but I currently weigh 14 stone and 50cc's have always been a bit of a struggle, especially if you are on the heavier side. So we'll see how this one copes. It says it'll do 31. I'll be happy if I get to 30 mile an hour. At least then I'll be able to keep up with traffic-ish. Let's go for a ride. Nice little rumble to it. There is a little bit of vibration coming through the mirrors, but only a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. As long as I can see what I need to behind me, I'm alright with it. I can deal with that. Anyway, first test. Let's see how easy it is to turn around. I can't see it being an issue because these bikes are unbelievably light. Yeah. Now normally when I do the test, if I'm parked there somewhere, as long as I can turn around and be this side of the green fence, then I'd have it as a good turning circle. Time to hit the cobbles. 50 cc's of pure power. Well, 50 cc's anyway. Actually, I mean, you can tell it's a 50cc. Now, by that, I mean, it isn't anywhere near as brisk as the 125s when you first start. But it does pick up alright, actually. Surprising. It's been a while since I've been on a 50cc motorcycle or scooter. And last time I went on one, yeah, it wasn't the greatest and I struggled to get to 30 mile an hour. So yeah, we'll see how this copes. Now the 30 comes in here, full throttle. The cars aren't pulling away from me, so that's a very good sign. And there's an indicated 30 miles an hour. In fact, I'm catching up to something. Wow, I shouldn't be catching up to something when I'm on a little 50. That's actually a really good thing. I've said on the walk round, I weigh 14 stone currently, and yes, I'm still trying to lose weight for anybody asking, and anybody not, that's just some pointless information. But anyway, the fact that this can get up to 30 mile an hour, and it did it relatively quickly then, with somebody of my weight on it, I think is a really good thing. So, I mean, if you're lighter, if you're much lighter, this bike will actually feel much faster. It will, because weight is a big factor when it comes to these smaller engine bikes. I was 16 and I got my first little 50cc bike for the road. Would do 35 mile an hour downhill if you had a good old strong wind helping you and pushing you along. Oh, see, I like, because this is so tiny, you can just get through the tiniest of gaps. It's quite good, that. So when I was 16 and I got my first 50cc bike, it was just life-changing. The fact that you didn't have to get the bus to go into town, the fact that you could go round your mate's house, and instead of going on the push bike and taking a little bit of time, or having to walk there, or having to go and meet girls at 16. Oh God, when I was brave enough to go and meet girls. But when I used to do all those things on the 50, it was just brilliant, life-changing and amazing. And I think I'm going to be stuck here forever, so I'm going to have to do some proper little sneaking here. I can't help it, I need to. This is the only issue, I think, with a 50. When you do pull out, you can't pull out particularly quickly. It does take a little bit of time to get to 30, but it gets there. As you can see now, there's 30 miles an hour. Oh, is that 31? I'm gonna have to slow down. I'm so naughty. But it gets to 30. The brakes are pretty good as well. Certainly more than enough for a bike of this weight and power. I do like going in and looking for the cheapest bike. It gives me a bit of purpose going into that shop now. I usually go in there and try and search for the bikes that have just come in, like the bikes I've not been on yet, That's usually my little game when I go in there, trying to spot them, because they come in and just like hide them in a corner or something, but it becomes a little game of mine trying to find them in the shop. Oh, quite nice round the bend. Kept it at a, you know, a sensible 20, but it went round the bend quite nicely. I actually felt like I had to lift off a bit. It was still picking speed up. I'm keeping up with traffic. In fact, I have to keep slowing down, and this is typical for any town across the UK, isn't it? I mean, how fast do you actually ever get to go around one of these towns anymore? You're lucky if you can get anywhere near 30 mile an hour, because it's always too busy. Now I'm going to go into this little car park and we're going to perform a brake test light bike, and I think because of that the braking is usually quite fierce. It's like being on a mountain bike or something. When you put your brakes down hard, you're going to stop very, very quickly. Yeah, and this is exactly the same. It's just very, very brutal. It's probably the best way to put it. But again, that is what I like about these types of bikes, because the majority of riders will be learners, and if you're a learner and you're looking for a 50cc motorcycle, or you're looking for one for your son, your daughter, your partner, you want to make sure that they're going to be safe, or as safe as you can be on two wheels, that is. But you want to make sure that you do the best for them. And the brakes on this are very good. The acceleration on it, it gets to 30 mile an hour eventually. It's not rapid, but that again I think is a selling point. If I was buying one of these for one of my children, I wouldn't want it to be too aggressive. If you have got a full license, by the way, this is where 30 mile an hour can be a bit frustrating, especially if you get onto a 40 mile an hour road. Now fortunately for me, this is a 30 mile an hour road, so I'm doing the speed limit, so it's good, and I'm not going to break any laws. But if you are an experienced rider, you may well feel like these are not for you because they're not fast enough. Whilst these are perfect for 16-year-olds who are new and starting their journey on two wheels, or maybe for you if you live in a town like Warrington and you're just going from one side of the town to the other, 30 mile an hour is fine. But if you are an experienced rider, or you are 17 or older and you're looking for something to get about on and you're going away from the towns a little bit, then I don't think 50s should be your choice. I certainly wouldn't get one myself if that was my plan for it. I would just get a 125cc. Does bring back memories though, being full throttle and getting up to 30 mile an hour and then trying to tuck in and trying to get that little bit extra out of it, trying to get it up to 35, or go down a ridiculously steep hill. Like there's one not far away from mine, and I used to take my bike on that and really tuck in and try and get as fast as I possibly could, because then you had evidence, didn't you, that your bike was capable of doing 40 mile an hour, even though most of it was gravity getting you to that speed. But you did it, and they're just the memories I've got from being 16 and just absolutely loving my first experience of motorcycling. And you know, if you're buying one of these to start your journey, this isn't a bad option. It's cheap. Been on a few different roads, some of them with slight hills, and yeah, not steep hills, mind, but I'm still able to get to the 31 mile an hour. It is showing 31 on the clock, so it is capable of it. Yes, that is going to do me today. I'm going to head back in. I'm going to take it back on the cobbles. This bike is available at Into Moto, but I'm always repeating myself, but it's a cheap bike, and the cheap bikes don't last. Every time I've gone in there and done a cheap bike, when I go in the week later, they are usually nowhere to be seen because they've been sold, collected and gone. So yes, be quick if it's something you're after. What I will also add to that, and again, I'm not a salesman, but I'm just going to add to it, and that is that Moto do sell GB and Sim, and they've got other scooters in there that will actually sell brand new 50cc bikes. So yes, if you're looking for a different type of bike, a different spec of bike, a different look of bike, they do sell new 50s as well, but it's very rare to actually get a used 50cc bike in. That's why the used ones, when they come in, don't tend to last that long, because you save yourself £400. You don't have to pay the on the road costs, you don't have to pay for your first service, so you basically can ride this for 12 months, can't you, without having to pay anything else out. So yeah, always good. Anyway, I'm back here, I'll put a link in the description, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Laters.